What's going on, guys? Welcome to my channel. So my sophomore year of college was horrible. I was getting bad grades. I was getting like 5 hours of sleep, taking naps for an hour a day, waking up just groggy and tired, getting bad grades, and just repeating that process 5 times a week until the weekend came and I would just sleep in. I was on a downward spiral and I had to pick myself back up. But now I graduated and I'm working an engineering job. I'm organized and I have a lot of goals that I want to accomplish. So today I'll be going over 9 things that I learned that made a huge impact on my life, and hopefully I'll make an impact on yours. With that being said, guys, let's get right into the video. So this first tip my professor actually taught me, and it's to write down all your things that you need to do on a post-it note. Don't write it on a piece of paper, don't write it in a notebook. There's a reason why I write it on a post-it note, and it's because the post-it note has the perfect amount of space. You can't write too much and you can't write too little. I usually write the date on the top and I write down everything that I need to accomplish. And most of the time I can't write like more than 10 tasks on here, so it's perfect because all these goals are pretty much achievable within the span of a day. Keep your to-do list short and concise, and keep a little post-it note and a pen in your pocket all day. That's what I do, and it's helped me out a lot. And make sure you write it down before the day starts, so when the day starts you have a bunch of things that you need to do and you're not wasting any time. So the next tip I learned at the Academic Resource Center at the college I used to go to, and this was when I was struggling, and this tip is to use the Pomodoro Technique. If you haven't heard of the Pomodoro Technique, it's a technique where you study or do any task intensely for 25 minutes. You set a timer, and once that timer goes off, you take a break for 5 minutes. And you repeat this, and after the 4th time, you take a 15-minute break. And this really helps me because my brain, I don't know about yours, can only study or do a task so intensely for a certain amount of time. I'm not one of those guys that can just study for 3 hours and have fun doing it. I gotta be intense and I gotta be quick. Doing this technique keeps me focused and it gives my brain the rest that it needs to keep going with the task, and I'm able to study for 3 or 4 hours until I need to move on to the next task. And I think this is the technique that helped me the most, and it's probably the reason why I was able to pass the Fundamentals of Engineering exam on my first try. My next tip is stop watching the news. After 2020, I gave up watching the news. I would go on these rabbit trails, just going from CNN to Fox, watching all the news channels, and after a while I just found out that if something is important enough, I'll hear it from social media or from a neighbor or a friend. The only thing really helpful from the news is looking at the weather report every day. So stop watching the news and you'll be saving a lot of time and stress to yourself. The way news channels get their money is by viewers, and because of that they intentionally handpick articles and events that are intended to spark the viewer's emotion. So most of the stuff that you see is not typical in the everyday life of an American citizen, so you're better off just skipping the news altogether. And a lot of times they make the story so dramatic that it's borderline not even true. So do yourself a favor and turn off the news channel and put on something educational. Alright, this next tip has helped me in the morning tremendously, and it's drinking a glass of water after you brush your teeth every morning. When you're sleeping you lose a lot of water, and when I drink a glass of water in the morning, it hydrates me and I feel way more awake. So I wake up, I brush my teeth, and I drink a glass of water. That way after that, I'm motivated to exercise and ready to head to the gym. Next tip is stop listening to music all the time. You ever notice how when you're bored in the shower, just zoning out, you think of your best ideas? Well, I've come across multiple TED Talks that talk about the power and the importance of being bored. When you're listening to music, you're typically consuming, you're singing, dancing, or just not thinking of anything when you listen to music. When I drive to work, I like to drive to work in silence. That may sound like I'm a psycho, but it actually helps me because I think about my goals. I just think about how my life is going and I can organize my thoughts. And some of my greatest ideas come from when I'm just bored sitting down. Instead of becoming a consumer of music, when you have free time, sit in silence and become a producer. And when I'm sitting in silence, it gives me a time to remember things, remember tasks I need to accomplish, and it gives my brain some time to unwind. Next tip I have for you guys is stop being a yes man. Stop saying yes to things that you don't want to do. Your 20s are arguably the most important years of your life because you're making important career decisions and the money that you make has the most time to grow. And this includes telling yourself no. Like saying, no, I don't want to go to Cheesecake Factory because we have food at the house. And no, I don't want to sign up for your pyramid scheme because I already have a side hustle. And also, no, I don't want to buy that TV because I need to save up and invest. I think you guys get the point. Next important tip is exercising regularly. Every weekday, I exercise for 45 minutes a day. I know it doesn't look like it. I'm not huge, but I am pretty fit. The way I see it is, I may as well exercise now when I don't have kids and other obligations, just to set a foundation for when I do have kids. And hopefully it will influence them to have a healthy lifestyle and it'll make me live longer, hopefully. I said this in other videos, but I exercise at 6 a.m. every day. And I do this because when I exercise in the morning, it helps me fall asleep faster at night and it gives me a lot of energy during the day. Compared to when I don't exercise in the morning. The next tip is to turn your car into a library. So here are some examples of some things that I do when I'm commuting to work. So I'm either listening to Spanish lessons because I'm learning how to speak Spanish. I'm listening to finance videos. I think about business ideas and how my investing is going. And I think about solutions to some of the problems that I'm having. And the last tip I have for you guys is waking up at the same time every day. This is really important if you have a job where it requires you to sit down all day like me. When you wake up at the same time, it becomes way easier to fall asleep. And sometimes I don't even need an alarm. I will wake up like a couple minutes right before my alarm. And ever since I started this, once my alarm goes off, I'm ready to pop out of bed and head straight to the gym. And this is because my body's so conditioned to doing the same thing over and over again that it just becomes natural. With that being said, thanks for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.